Once again, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. We have the first question.
Cal, I'm just curious, Terrence didn't start tonight. Was there any particular reason behind that? And obviously he played pretty well when he did get in.
He was sick yesterday. Had a chest cold, couldn't practice, and it's just something I do. But I kind of liked him coming off the bench. Maybe we'll keep him there. Kind of liked our start too with him coming off the bench. So maybe we keep him there. A couple practice days, and we'll see. Really doesn't matter who starts. I mean, what you want to do is get guys that are ready to begin the game. And
Cal, what if anything was different about the way he played coming off the bench?
rebounded better. He just went after balls. He went after balls with two hands above the rim. But he got winded in the first half. He took himself out. But he played good. You know, he had a lot of stuff around the goal. You know, he made a couple threes, but to be honest with you, I'm sitting on the bench saying, we're not winning with him shooting threes. Now, he may shoot one or two or three, but that's not why we win. We'll win because he'll go rebound and score around the goal. He'll score on drives, he'll score on stick backs. If he makes a couple threes, okay, but that's not, you know, if that's what he got from this, then we're in trouble. That's fool's gold.
Hood came in early. Was that because of Jones taking himself out, or was?
No, I'm trying to see if, you know, we're going to be able to use some of these guys in the higher level SEC games. So gave him an opportunity, and you know, you got to perform. If you don't, try to Stacy a little bit and try to Eloy a little bit. But you know.
On the flip side, Cal, what do you think of Duran as a starter?
He was fine. I still don't think he's playing hard enough. I don't think he runs the floor hard enough. You know, but he's a skilled guard. But he's doing what Chris Douglas did when I was at Memphis. Chris Douglas didn't have enough of a motor, and I used to be on him every day and on him in practice. You got no motor, kid. Go watch Rip Hamilton play. You'll understand what a motor is. You got to come off screens hard. You got to sprint that floor. You got to be shooting balls before you catch it. All those things. But it's typical of young kids. They don't understand. Terrence doesn't understand how hard you got to play and compete. Which is why we got beat at Georgia. I mean, they wanted it worse. They got to balls. They finished the game when it was tied up. They made defensive stops and we didn't. And they, you know, executed better than us. We broke down on offense. So, you know, that's what we have right now.
Cal, along those lines, how do you think the team responded to some of those areas you were concerned with from Saturday?
There were some things that I was angry about today again. I mean, we got to get better. I mean, the way we're playing, at spurts we're really good, and at other times we're not beating one of the better teams in our league. We won't beat the best teams in our league. We just won't. And so we've got to get better. We got to get better executing. I mean, you know how many breakouts, we ran people over, we had a box-to-box that we threw away, they trapped us a little bit and we picked up the ball. We had baskets around the goal that we just didn't get in. I mean, you against a good team, think about it. You got to make those, and we didn't. We got a ways to go. Josh reverted to a year ago. That's why he sit down playing somebody else. Didn't have a rebound in the first half. Every ball he went after with one hand. That was who he was a year ago. Well, then you don't deserve to be on the court. And a lot of times guys are reading stuff, what they're saying about it. And all of a sudden you change how you play, and then you go right back. And when you go down that slippery slope, that's exactly what it is, slippery. And it's hard to come back up. And that's why I'm trying to make sure, you know, we keep the pressure on this team. And that's what I'm doing. Just keep the pressure on this team to perform and get better.
Cal, what about Vargas as far as what you've been working on him in practice to get better? And
it's not working right now, but it's early. And it's the same I told Hegan, I told John Hood, and I told Stacy Poole. We've only had 4 workouts. One of them, and I won't tell you which one, after 15 minutes threw up. So that's where they are right now. They're far behind. And so I'm going to keep spending time with them.
The
conditioning thing? Or?
Both conditioning, both toughness, both defining the things that they should do. What's happened is the things that we talked about and we worked on, they go in the game and they're not doing those exact things because they're not habits yet. They have those other habits. But like I said, my whole mindset is Stacy and John Hood and Eloy are going to help us before this season's over. And that's it's on. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm going to just keep working and pushing, but I'm also going to be hard on them. Look, if you can't take me, how are you going to go in a high-level game that's on national television and make a tough play? You can't take me. How? I don't know. And that's why the guys that can take me when I get on and they respond to that, they're not phased in the game. The guys that are like rattled and get petrified, how are you going to play in a high-level game? And that's part of the reason I've gotten on guys. I got on Darius today, and I told him, I said some things in the huddle, and I said, that you guys watch, he won't do this, this, and this when I put him back. Well, he did one of those things. If I was him, I'd have looked right at me. I'd have looked right at me, yeah? You don't think I can do that? I may not say anything, but I'd look right at the coach like, yeah? And I'd have loved it. Something came out. You know, I mean, where's that line, that tie? Come on out, where is it? You know what, he's too nice a kid. Well, then your career's over. When we're done here, you're done. You come out and fight and that toughness, and he's a great kid. And like I said, I see him as being all conference. And there are times he is, and there are other times he reverts, and we got to get him steadier.
Coach, could you talk a little bit about the rebounding, and maybe more so, it does appear that you guys are still looking for that edge, that little bit of toughness still.
Yeah, we out-rebound them by a rebound, and they get 15 offensive rebounds. I mean, that's what and as you watch some of them, guys just thought it was okay. Part of it is you get up, and let me say this. One, this was a really hard game for me to coach because of Tony. Someone had to lose the game, and I absolutely did not want it to be me. But I also knew that if he lost, that, I feel for him. I know what that feels like. And so that made it hard. But you got to admit, he did a lot of things to keep his guys in position to stay in the game. And he never stopped coaching, and they never stopped executing. Matter of fact, they executed better than we executed. And and they never stopped playing. They never quit. And every tape I've seen, that's what I'm seeing. So I want you to envision this team over the next 2 to 3 years with players as good as anybody in our league, because that's what you're going to see. That's what you will see. Got a lot of faith in him, and he had grandma there who I hadn't seen in a while, and his aunt was there who I hadn't seen in a while. He was looking for his mom. His mom wasn't there, but again, a hard game to coach.
John, there was a sequence where Eloy had to kind of battle for a rebound, and he kind of sort of ripped it away from them. The crowd really reacted to that. What do you see in that?
Well, that's our crowd trying to help coach this kid. That's our crowd knowing, Eloy, you got to get balls. And when he got one, think about what you just said. He just grabbed the ball. They gave him a standing ovation. You got a standing ovation for grabbing a ball because they know if you can do that, he can leave you in the games. And we need you to stay in the game, son. So that were our 25,000 coaches that sit up in the stands behind me.
So you like that?
No, I thought it was great. It's kind of like DeAndre. He dives on the floor and does something. They give him a standing O. Terrence goes and gets a rebound above the rim. He makes a three. Don't say anything. Just. But if he goes and rebounds and blocks, and everybody goes nuts. Just let them know what we're all trying to see. And our fans are smart. They know.
John, you talked before about the danger of Josh reading his own clippings, and I'm wondering if maybe that was part of Terrence's deal, is he read some of his own clippings as well as you.
Well, the other side of this may be they're feeling it. You think about Josh, all of a sudden they're talking about Josh being this, that, and the other. You got to live up to that. Terrence is having to live up to how he played in Hawaii and against Notre Dame. Every game he plays now, he's judged against those performances. It's not what I'm saying. It's his own performance that we all saw with our eyes. That's hard. That's hard. Brandon Knight having to live up to what's being said about him, or even Duran, who had a freshman record day. Now all of a sudden we want to see you play hard every game. Hard to live up to that. And then the pressure of trying to stay on top of that. Understand their high school seasons will be over in about a week. And their season's over. Guess what? We're just starting our season. So we just gone 3 months, 4 months harder than they've ever gone in their life, and we're like halfway. What? So, they're feeling it a little bit, and I'm fine with that. But that's when you find out the guys that are going to be tough and the guys are going to help us get by.
Thank you.
Well, Cal, when you mentioned how Terrence's three is a fool's goal, but when he goes out there and makes 4 or 5, he's probably going to want to keep shooting it. How do you get him disciplined enough to know
Well,
when to
here's
take
my
it?
thing. It's like Josh. If you go in there and rebound and make baskets, and every once in a while you have a 3, that's fine. But if you think his percentage for the year is like 33%, well then Darius and DeAndre, Duran, and Brandon should shoot them before you. They shoot a higher percentage. Now this game you were 4 for 5. On a year he's probably 35%. Those other guys are all over 40. So go in and rebound and play for the percentages of what we have to do to win. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he showed some initiative, and we're going to have a day off tomorrow, the first day of classes for the guys. So we'll just tell them, take a day off, no lift, no nothing, get your classes underway, and we'll come back Thursday and Friday and get ready for LSU on Saturday.